Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is December 7th, 2023. Stonks, what you know, man?
Yo, what's up? Hello.
Hola.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hola back. What's up?
Good. This is good. We're hitting on all cylinders. If there's a cylinder, we've hit it. And here we are. All right. So we had data this morning. Market seemed to like it. Dollar seemed to dislike it. I looked through it. I thought almost that the opposite should happen. So it means that I'm not very smart. So I got that going for me. And kind of walking through the action yesterday, that 45.55 by hook or crook, they were going to test it. They tested it overnight. They plunged through it. They bought it right back up. But I think in a lot of ways, we could be set up for a dip back into that zone today before we go and charge some of these layers above. Very conflicted with the price action that I'm seeing personally. It seems like it's like we're going up when we should be going down in a lot of ways in a lot of these patterns, and vice versa. Right now, I would imagine that we're kind of in the middle of some you know little squeeze type deal up to the upside. Not that it's massive and dramatic, but we sat there consolidating in this zone literally all night in and around that 45.55, ultimately to start pushing to make the leg higher and through here. Flow wise, we can you can draw your own conclusion depending upon your time frame. There's plenty of bullish lines. There's plenty of bearish lines. There's something for literally everyone in this market. If I'm going to take a quick little view at it, and I'm going to do this quick, say it quickly and work through it quickly. If I'm looking at, the ES or the NQ on a 15-minute, this looks like it could be, keyword could, this would be the right shoulder of a pretty substantial head and shoulders. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it, because the dollar has been the biggest hoe bag yesterday. Um, it's like you look at the dollar, you can look at a 1 hour, you can indeed see a head and shoulders on the neckline right here, right now. You can see that too. So the question is what is going to play out? What is the price action going to be, and what are we looking at? I know historically we've talked about it over and over again. The idea of a pit bull low being put in Wednesday night, Thursday. In theory, maybe that's what we had with that dip below 45.55 and the fire above on this data. Maybe that's what we have. I know for me personally, Stonks, when I look at all this, there's so much gamesmanship. The one thing that I do know, the market has wanted to run the past several sessions and days and has not been able to in any capacity. No matter what it tried to do, it got hit in the head with a bat. We filled that upside gap yesterday and sold all the way back down to that 45.55 all over again, all over again. So now when I look at the chart, it's like, okay, if I'm going to use history, if I'm going to use, some of the things that have played out well in the past, this could indeed be that pit bull low, okay? And we march right back up to where we rejected yesterday into the end of the week. It doesn't have to happen all at once, doesn't have to be anything along those lines, but that's kind of, it's like, what else is it telling us, Don? You tell me. What is it telling us? What is the market trying to say? When we
I
the
mean,
dollar going basically straight up for no reason, data be damned, which is what we've had all week long. And now when it finally gets a data point that where it should get a little bit juicy, it decides to get back. How does this jive? How does this make sense? How do you reconcile it? Do you have an answer for me?
well, we'll find out when we dive into some charts, maybe. Um, yeah, maybe. I'm just kind of clicking through some stuff, getting ready. I posted my chart right at the end of the day on the dollar and said, you know what? Why don't you stop right there? And it did, so that was fun.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, what else? What else? Oh, there's Sunny.
Oh, we got Sonny. We got Sonny in. Sonny, you want to walk us through some of this news?
Sure.
All right. Let's do the walk.
Let's do the walk of the news. So the big news was from last night, talking about Bank of Japan. They may be looking to pivot um, as soon as December 19th, when the next meeting is, instead of next year. Um, so that had yen collapses. I think yen went below 145 yesterday. So that would be very interesting if once we get a little bit more information on this today and tomorrow, and see how it reacts. Um, that did actually impact the Asian markets, especially the Japanese market. The other one is Microsoft met with China's Minister of Commerce to discuss AI and trade relations. Um, there's been a lot of discussions going on with the tech companies and the Chinese ever since APEC happened. The MasterCard was there, and everybody else, and the tech companies are doing much more in China, trying to not get into the trap of getting sanctioned and their offices raided and things like that. And Microsoft is pretty big part of the Chinese government. um, Before the Chinese government started switching from Microsoft Windows to their own OS. So this may be something that Microsoft's trying to do to get back into the good graces. McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are discussing expanding their partnership. So DNet was up 20%.
They McDonald's had some other news this morning also. Maybe you're going to do
Yeah,
hit
so
into
they had
that.
the investor day yesterday. So they came up with this new concept restaurant that looks like from 1950s, robots and things like that, kind of try to make it look like very retro. I think it's just a one-time thing, pop-up kind of thing they did for their investor day. They're looking to redo some of their menu items. I think there may be some reduction there. They did partner up with Google. They're going to be using, the Gemini and Bard as the AI chatbot for the within the company itself, and make more of these kiosks, where you place an order at the restaurant, you do it through the chat where it goes directly into the kitchen, instead of a person saying, "Do you want fries with that?" So there's going to be a lot of cost cutting in McDonald's for them to move up. They're also looking to open up 50,000 more restaurants globally.
Hmm.
Yep. We don't have enough fast food. Robinhood. So we've been seeing a lot of flow coming into Robinhood the past couple of days. So they're looking to expand crypto services to Europe. They're offering trading of 25 digital currencies. They're also looking to expand into UK in the next few months. This will be their third attempt trying to get a foothold in the UK for stock trading, things like that. So Lucid has spent $9 billion, delivered 8,800 cars, and they've lost 87% of their market cap. And I think they did get downgraded as well. So yeah, I think that's like I don't know where it's at right now. Maybe it's like a $2 stock now. So Google launched it. That was a big news for Google yesterday. So a couple of days ago, they said Google has delayed the launch of Gemini, their new AI software. But then yesterday after hours, they say, "Oh, we're releasing it now." So all the Google flow that we saw come in, I think those people will be very happy this morning. They made a nice move up. So this Gemini is going to be their, new software that kind of competes with Chat GPTs and other GPTs. It's going to also be added into their the Google Pixel Phone 8 and their Office, Gmail, and Google Sheets and things like that. It's all going to be integrated into that. Rivian Reseda price actually upgrade 23 is the price target. Oh yeah, here's a Lucid one. So Lucid has got a hold rating with the price target of $5. Surprised it's not below it yet. And yeah, that's what it. I mean, and the employment data came out. I read some more into it, like the non-farm payrolls. That's gonna come out tomorrow. They're basically talking about how this, the union workers coming back. How does that impact? And in today's data, the continued claims did this go down because all the union workers who went on strike, they filed for unemployment, and as soon as it ended, that unemployment benefits ended for them because they're back at work. So how
Mhm.
much of that is in the data that came out today,
Right.
and how much of that's going to be of an impact tomorrow? Any large swing in either direction could be bad, right? Because like the data's out of whack. Why is it out of whack? So then it comes down to, okay, which data point they're gonna pick to fuck us tomorrow. I mean, it's not like, okay, yeah, non-farm payroll is good, but hey, the average wage went up and this went up and that went up. So all of that, it's not just one little thing. Yeah, the non-farm payroll numbers came out good or bad. There's a whole bunch of hidden features into that data, and we'll see what they pick.
Yeah. We'll see what they pick. I think that is a very accurate statement. We will see what they pick.
Yeah, and that's it.
All right. Very good. So AMD had its event and then it sold off. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it had a run up, but a bit of a nice recovery. And, there's been a lot of positive feedback coming in from Microsoft, Google that, hey, yeah, we are on board and we're going to be using this AI chips. Everybody's kind of jumping into that car and saying, hey, let's go. We'll use
Mhm.
AMD chips. So it made a nice recovery. I mean, if you look at the 15-minute, it looks like a massive inverted head and shoulders.
Okay. All right. Good. Good to keep our eye on that flow after yesterday. I know
Yeah.
that there were we had some legitimate upside taps into it.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had some 125s for this week, 127
mhm.
for next week.
Yeah. So that'll definitely be something that we should pay attention to on open. Very nice. Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah.
Stonks.
Oh yeah.
What you got for us?
Let's see. You're up. Press that share thingy.
Oh yeah, no, that's that thing.
Do that. And then we shall chart.
Yeah. It's amazing how many pop-ups are on this thing that kind of cloud everything.
Hey, you did it. All right. So we have one smash burger on deck from basically yesterday's price action, which would be upside on the SPY. SPY closed just below prior day's low. So we'd be looking to buy again, failed breakout concept here. We'd be looking to buy if we break above the high of yesterday. So we've got an alert that will pop here in the room. If we jump over to the Qs, we've got, so we can look through again. If we go back through these, we had the last possible smash day was this one to the upside, and it hasn't hit yet. Basically, this candle closed below this candle's low, so we're looking for a failed breakout to the upside, and so we would have, I guess we would have had potential smash day to the downside on this candle, never hit, but so we still, this level, still hasn't been broken. So we've got an alert set to pop in the room, that 390.55, which also we talked on the morning show the other day that this was gap fill. So we were waiting, because we talked about this last week on the SPY. There was a gap fill, and it was like magic. As soon as they filled that gap, that was the short. So I think this is going to be a key spot. We're going to leave that alert in place, and we'll see, what the reaction is when we get there. We talked about the dollar. Look at that really quick here. So again, we've talked about it a few different times. If you're going to take one thing from Mr. T, the simplest one is always going to be stop out just by a bit and reverse, which this high there, this is why, aside from the fact that we had this trend line here, this high right here was where I jumped into the room yesterday and said, you know what, I think this would be a good place for the dollar to stop going up. And so we hit the trend line. We did a Mr. T, stop someone out by a tick. And now we've broken this rising wedge here, which sounds like the data pre-market helped out. And now we have, left shoulder, funky head, right shoulder. That was an interesting one. But if we look here, so some of these, let's see, where did I get this? this gap here on the 4 hour, you can see I have this marked up because these candle bodies, we haven't had a candle body close through this area. So I want to this could be important, be interested to see if we get the dollar back down to this, 103.60 area. So I'll be kind of watching for that. And then we have this small volume imbalance here on the daily, this candle's body low to this candle's high. So we'll see if we get this close like that, bearish close on the dollar. We'd be looking, to kind of push our way back down. But it looks like we did put in this rising wedge for now on the dollar. Let's see what else. I guess we got to do, let's do US NASDAQ. All right. So again, if you're going to take one thing away, look for, from Mr. T, look for someone to get stopped out by a tick and then reverse. We've got, we had a bunch of stops sitting down here, and that's, we've taken that and now we're pushing back up. Similar up here, we had this level here, bears with break-even stops. They did it once, stopped them out, pushed back down. Did it again, stopped them out, pushed back down. So, we've got this high. This is what he would call it a swing high. And then, we would see more stops sitting up there because, the guys that were all built out here, they keep getting stopped out. For the boxes here, we've got a fair value gap here in the purple box. Now that we're getting candles closing below, if we had to come back down here, we'd want to see that hold the support. If we break it, we know a bunch of all these stops are still intact for bull in this area. So, and you can see here, it was like this guy was getting stopped out over here. They just ticked it out by just a bit. So that's why I have it kind of as a reminder down over here, just that all these guys would need to bring it down here and then potentially to here to get them out. Let's see. So yeah, we've got this gap here, purple box, and then we've got this candle's low to this candle's high with a little, this is a little volume imbalance, I believe, on the daily here. Yeah, this candle's low to that candle's high on just the bodies. There's that purple. So there could be a couple things going on if we get up into this, up through basically here, 45 to 80, if we can get there. I'll be interested to see what they do with it. So that's what we got kind of going. And we're still in this like rising megaphone type thing over here on the ES. And this was the other one, was this head and shoulders possibility. Left shoulder, right shoulder, or left shoulder, head.
What time frame is your head and shoulders on?
This is on the 4 hour, but it's
okay.
like, we're already kind of, so this would be left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Mm-hmm. And, we bounced off the neckline, which again, most 60% of the time head and shoulders are going to fail, so it's like, yeah, the neckline would be somewhere down here with all these stops basically. So far we're intact and we bounce off the bottom if this was going to be this megaphone type thing. Let's see. So, let's check out the NASDAQ. Actually, I have the markup on the December contract. All right. So
when do we switch over contracts, by the way? It's got to be soon, right?
Yeah. This is it. I think this is it. Yeah. 8 days.
8 days. Okay.
So yeah, that's a good one to kind of keep in mind. Sometimes it's like, you'll see the contract roll and you look at the chart, or if you didn't notice that the contract rolled over and you look at the chart and you're like, what? Were we gapping up or something? It's like, no, that's just the contract rollover. So something to be aware of. All right. So we've got stop sitting up above on NASDAQ. So if we can get up here into 1650, this would be head on a swivel area. You got this guy, which again, like, basically stopped these guys out by a tick, Mr. T style, and then brought it back down. So now it's like we know the next group of stops will be just a little bit higher. We've got little gaps. This candle's high to this candle's low. This candle's low to this candle's high. We're coming up into this. So we've got 50 minutes on this 4 hour candle. The bull signal would be if we can get this 4 hour close above here. 15,921.75. That would be, what we'd be looking for bull. This could be, or this could be the pause spot. We filled this gap, but the bull signal would be in 49 minutes, a close above there. If we kind of targets, if we can pop that, I would be interested to see what we do up here. If we stall out and we're going to get some range, we've got this fair value gap here, and then we've got a little bit of a double bottom down here. So be looking for those stops, and then we've got these guys' stops are still intact over on the NASDAQ. And then we're still kind of in this kind of megaphone type thing if you're zoomed out a bit there. But clearly it's like, consolidation zone. We're not really trending in either direction. And we could do the Russell real quick. Let's see. So we came into the day looking at this flag. They popped it, and then if we zoom out on the daily, again, we're looking for where would a bunch of stops be, and it's pretty clear this purple line, and they didn't take them, which is interesting. So still going to be, focused on this level. I think, there's enough sitting up there that they would want to go get that. And, kind of same thing we've been talking about this morning. Where are the stops sitting? So yesterday, this is where, we came into the day knowing there was a bunch of stops sitting on this level here. They took them, and now we're getting a little bit of bounce here. I've got a key level marked here, just as this is one where you can see where all the candle bodies would come down and hold against this. So I'd want to see us get back up and through this 1859.7, and then see if we can do the rest of this flag. Orange box is a weekly gap. If we made it all the way down to here, I'd want to see this hold the support because we had candles. The weekly did close above this area, and then this is the daily gap. This is the yellow box. So if we lose this, then I'll be looking down to this area here. But for now, this kind of falling flag type thing is intact, even though we had a bit of a failed breakout. They did this kind of thing. We saw this type of flag failed breakout, and then it fired again on gold last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's still kind of intact over there. Other than that, I'll be calling some levels in the room on Tesla and Roblox. But that's kind of it.
All right, very good. Yeah, no, I think we have one of those very precarious setups once again. You play what you see, you play the field. It's like yesterday, it appeared like there were probably 6 or 7 different times like they were trying to put a legitimate bounce on the market, and we just could not. It was not achieved. It just was not done. And we kept on selling down and selling down. Today could be, quite the opposite. Maybe it's the opposite effect. I know that we have to be diligent in what we're doing, and I think the reality is whether you're trying to short or go long, your entry will dictate how successful you are either way in this environment. I think entry becomes that much more important, unless it's going to trend in your direction, right? Yesterday is a complete trend down, even though it's like, gun to head, there were at least 7 to 10 times within flow and within chart that it looked to me like they were going to pop it. And it never happened. Never happened. So that's one of those things you just kind of log away in your mind and be like, okay, well, that's the game. This is what we're doing. This is how it is. And you treat it accordingly. Outside of that, I don't have anything else, guys. You guys have anything?
Yeah, we could just, because we brought up yesterday, I didn't get to watch much yesterday, but I think, I always talk about this 5-minute 20 EMA, which is this green line here, and it's like, the simplicity of just kind of looking back. It's like, that was a downtrend day. This is, before I had to step away, this is where I was a little bit early. I was looking basically for this fair value gap here to be the short entry. And it was, it had to take a little over 10 points of heat because I was looking at this line here. But, throwing on a 5-minute 20 EMA, it's like that was just a downtrend day, and you'd have the easier time, just kind of following that along. So I think that's a good, that's kind of the idea of it. Keep it simple. Just watch for those tags of that one EMA rather than, overdoing it. That kind of zoom out a little bit and be like, oh yeah, that was just a downtrend day. And it would have been a lot easier as a bear to be making money in that environment. That's kind of another Al Brooks concept there.
Yeah. All right. Sonny, you got anything? Anybody else have anything they want to share, put out?
No, just looking for a flow, how things move.
All right, guys. We have about 13, 14 minutes till open. Let's have a good day. Let's do our best. We'll see you guys soon.